Hello everyone, this is Destiny with Pure Light Radio.
This is Kaalidaas. Hello, everybody.
So, another bad thing happened to me the other day.
Oh no, what happened?
Yeah, well, my expensive crystal chandelier that I took from my old house, in my move.
Mm-hmm.
So, I had it in my car so that it wouldn't break. Because I had nowhere to put it.
It's expensive chandelier.
Yeah. Well,
it's crystals.
I had nowhere to put it, so I didn't want to just put it in my garage because I had the movers. They were still moving things in there. And so I thought, well, I'll just put my chandelier inside my car where it'll be safe until after everything's moved in, and then I would put it somewhere. So I'm driving in my car because I forgot about it, like a dope, and I'm driving, and this girl on the freeway, she swerves, and she doesn't even see me. She goes into my lane, and I had to swerve and put on the brakes, and the chandelier ended up breaking.
Not great.
Yeah.
Well, that's lovely.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So just another bad thing. So I keep having these bad things happen to me. I had my jewelry stolen. I had, gosh, what else happened to me? I can't think right now.
Well, I mean, yeah, you had your jewelry stolen. You had the chandelier that just broke.
It just seems like anything of value was either taken from me or broken lately.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
you just told me you were missing your, something in your car. You thought the car wash people took your...
oh my gosh, my SD card.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my charger. And...
so you're having a string of bad luck, or what is this?
I feel like it.
So what do you...
So anyway, I was in my garage, and I just was shouting, like, to the universe, just enough. And so now I just kind of, I'm just going with it. Like, I'm not even fighting it anymore, and, I'm over it.
You're over it, huh? So you're just not fighting it anymore, you're surrendering to the process.
Yes.
So you're just like going with the flow then.
I'm a tree in the wind.
You're a tree in the wind.
Bending.
Bending with life's repercussions and consequences.
Yes.
So are you recommending that you have bad things happen in your life in a string so that you can finally say I've had enough and get to the point where you're at, or do you think you're at a good place right now? I mean what are you recommending here with this whole story of yours here?
This whole story?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
what to do in a series of unfortunate events.
Okay, so what should you do?
What should you do?
Yeah, what should you do?
I guess just
use the use the mantras and be.
Those mantras really work, by the way.
I know they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, of course. That's why we did a whole podcast on And I was supposed to give an update, I remember from last time. I was supposed to give an update on whether I have...
You just remembered right now?
Achieved. Well, I mean...
You should have thought of that before we did this.
Well, I mean, this is all organic, of course, so it's fine. And Source is letting me know, hey, tapping me on the shoulder and saying, let everybody know about this right now. So, okay, I had it triggered, and here I am. So really, though, is I've been using the mantras, and I've had days where I forget, and there's days where I've done it, so I haven't been perfect. But they have already shown the results as far as clients go for me. I've been, like, visualizing and using the mantras as far as, like, converting clients into doing more things like hypnotherapy or something else from a massage client, right? And I've had a lot of conversions. I've had like a very high percentage compared to before. And I definitely attribute it to the mantras. So I attest to the mantras.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Oh, really?
Were you talking?
Yeah.
I'm
yeah, I know.
I'm kidding.
You better be kidding. So...
I just like to mess with you sometimes.
What kind of brownies are you eating? So, anyways.
I love brownies.
I'm sure you do. So, yeah, so with me, the mantras really do work. And so with you, what have you found that are working with the mantras?
I think they work, and you know, and because all these little bad things are happening to me. Well, to me, they're bad. I mean, I know it's not like somebody died or you know, or there's no bombs going off near me or anything like that. Okay, I understand that, but for me, you know, it's just a bummer.
Yeah.
And you know, to lose things, you know, of value
Mm-hmm.
like that, just all of a sudden and all in a row,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
was a little devastating. But you know, I realized just to let go of it. You know, they're just things, right? And
mm-hmm. Right. And is this attitude coming from this string of bad luck that you've gotten?
well, yeah, and some of it is because of the things that you and I talk about, and so you know, it really helps. Like I said, you know, the mantras have helped in certain situations where I'm either waiting in line or I'm kind of when there are times when I'm losing patience, and then I'll say it, and then you know, and the other things that we had talked about, like when you are in a really down place and you don't feel like doing things, and then you have to, I don't know, you know, muster the strength or
Mm-hmm. Get inspired or motivated.
yeah, yeah. And so there were a couple days where I thought about things that you had said, and then it got me to, okay, just go ahead and do it. You know.
So it's like you kept putting in your head, and then finally it kept bugging you, kind of like a a
Yeah.
3-year-old child that wants a toy or something, and like is nagging at you until you say, okay, finally, I'll give in and do it. That's the trick
Yeah,
with the
something
mantras.
like that. So you know,
Okay,
yeah, it does help.
good. So that's your experience. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So, so both of us has had positive feedback from the mantras, and we're doing that. So I definitely recommend everybody to do those mantras. Definitely listen to that podcast again.
It gets you out of a bad place.
It really gets you out of the rut. It really
Yeah.
does. It gets you moving forward. It gets you really looking forward at your goals, at what you can attain, and you really feel like you have the ability and the strength and the vigor, and also that the universe is like backing you up, or is going to help you, or is conspiring to help you bring about what you're trying to manifest in your life. And I really feel like the universe does come through when you say, hey, this is what I want, and this is how I want it to feel. Basically, it gives you that in whatever form, but it comes somehow, whether you expect it that way or not. But it definitely, either sooner or later, or it'll surprise you, but it definitely comes through with what you think and how you feel, for sure.
Okay, cool. So, with this law of attraction, can I change all my bad luck?
All the slew of bad luck that's happened to you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, well, one thing I've already learned is, you know, just to, you know, relax and chill and not be so, I don't know, rigid. Am I
Right.
rigid? I don't really think I'm a rigid person though, but maybe in a way I am, because now, like I told you, I just feel like I'm sort of more relaxed, and I'm kind of like a reed in the water, like.
So yeah, so you're changing your mode of being, or your state of being, to be more, or actually less reactionary to what is happening to you.
Yes.
So you're not reacting to the stimuli or circumstances.
No, I'm not. I'm over it.
Which is kind of like what the goal of meditation and yoga is in some ways, is to gain that equanimity, is to kind of be, it's symbolized as being the lotus in the water where nothing really affects you, right? Or it's like being the duck with the water just rolling off its back.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like how you're being more like that, right? Than letting things get to you.
I am.
Yeah. And you're happier, right?
I feel happier. I think I'm in a better place now.
Yeah, that's good.
Because now I feel more optimistic, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that from here on out, I think better things will happen, or things that I want to happen. I think will start happening.
More than the things that you don't want to happen.
But stay tuned.
Stay tuned. For disaster strikes back.
Yeah.
You never know, but well, I mean, if you keep doing the mantras and you take over your mind and you keep feeding those positive seeds, it's just a matter of time until either the mantras produce it in your subconscious mind, or at least you start feeling differently so that you change the way that you react in the world and your state of being. So that would also affect what you attract in your life, and would also affect like your vibrational rate, and that would also determine how you feel. Like the higher frequencies we're talking about is like joy, right? And the lower frequencies are like anger and despair and sadness, and it goes down to grief and all those things, right? So if you were on top of the world, you would be in a higher vibratory state, right? And so that has to do with your mode of being. And if everything bothers you, like if your conditions aren't right, and then you're upset about the conditions not being right, and that makes you in a bad mood, you're handing over your power to circumstances instead of taking it inward and claiming it for yourself and claiming your own power and saying, I'm responsible for my reality and how I react to my reality, and that's it. And the outward world has no say-so on how I feel inside. Which is freedom, right?
Yeah, and that's something I've been hearing all my life, really, is, change your attitude, about something. And I've always heard that, but it never really had that much of a meaning to me until now.
Right, so when you change your attitude, you change your perceptions too. You change how you look at things, which changes how you feel about it. So if you have the same problem, and you're like, I hate this problem, it's so annoying, and you're upset about it, and I just wish it was gone. But then, if you felt differently about it and you looked at it in a different perspective, right? And you saw it like, you know what, I have this opportunity to have this challenge in my life so I can learn from it and grow from it and evolve, and I'm thankful and grateful that the universe has put that in front of me, and I know I am capable and equipped to handle that, because the universe wouldn't put that in my path if I wasn't. And so it's like, if you're on the edge of a cliff, either you're going to fall or you're going to evolve and grow wings and fly. It's like you get put in these positions sometimes, and it's almost like natural selection or nature evolving things, but it's almost like a race will go, or a species will go extinct, or it'll evolve. It has to do one or the other. And so sometimes I feel like spirit or the universe is accelerating our evolution by putting us in the gauntlet, by throwing us in the ring when we're not really prepared, right? Because we have to adapt quickly, and we have to change, and we have to evolve, which means that our evolution and our spiritual evolution, our advancement, is all sped up, is accelerated, which would be a positive thing, because you want to get to a higher evolved state at a younger age. The younger that you're evolved, the better off you are, right? If you think about it. That's one thing you cannot overgrow, is wisdom. So, but yeah. So I think that your slew of bad luck can definitely change. Just say the mantras and do the deal.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that pretty much wraps up taking a slew of bad luck that happens to you and looking at it in a different way with a new set of eyes, which transmutates the energy of the situation into something higher, and your perspective changes, which changes your vibration, which changes your feelings, which are the same thing, because your feelings create your vibration. And then you attract better things in your life. Done.
Great.
Do it. Go out and do it.
I want that to happen.
Repeat that last part, listen to it 100 times, and go and do it.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And I also have to let you know that I have been meditating. Have you? Yes.
And how has that been?
And I had a really good meditation where I fell into a deep meditation, and for the first time in my entire life, where I felt like I was suspended in just blackness.
Wow.
And
what did that feel like?
Well, it was so weird, because almost like I was sleeping, but I was not sleeping.
You weren't sleeping.
And I wasn't on anything. I didn't take anything. I mean, I didn't drink nothing. Like I was totally sober. And I just lay down on the floor, and and I've been doing this on a regular basis too. And then I can't even tell you what happened. I just felt like I was floating in this sea of darkness, and it felt amazing. and I was really happy and comfortable, and I felt really good.
Wow.
And then I woke up, I came out of it, and I could tell my breathing had slowed down a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I woke up, I keep saying waking up, like
when you came back to normal waking consciousness,
and I gasped for air, kind of, not in a bad way, like drowning or anything, but just in a comfortable way. And I just took in a deep breath, and I was like, wow, that was amazing. That was a really amazing experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool. It sounds like you went into a samadhi state, a light samadhi state where you...
What's that?
Samadhi is a state of meditation and focus meditation when you're focusing on one thing, or absorption, where you forget yourself, like you lose yourself, you absorb yourself completely with your consciousness. Kind of
so this is real. So
yeah, this is real.
Okay.
It's kind of like when you go to a concert, maybe, and you're lost into the music, and you forget that you're even there, that your body is even there.
Yeah.
That's a light state of samadhi. You went into a deeper state by doing what you did. So it's like reality. It's like you're just there in reality. Your consciousness. You're not really aware of yourself too much.
Has that ever happened to you?
Yes.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So yogis know what that is, and I am a yogi.
Well, how did I
do
that though? I don't even know how I did it.
Well, how you did it was being in a meditative state, because you were meditating, which you shut off all your senses to the outside world, right? And by doing that, you had a high chance of disassociating your ego consciousness, which is attached and identified with the body, and you have a chance of identifying with your higher consciousness, which is bigger. And you get to a state, it keeps ascending until you realize, okay, I am the other people, I am everything, I am plants, I am the earth, I am consciousness. You reach I am consciousness to where you realize, to even beyond that, to where you are reality happening. Like you are reality happening. That's who you are. You're not a person, you're not a thing, you're not one thing. You are reality, literally itself happening. So, but there's different levels of ascension in consciousness to get there, and the samadhi states are like little doorways on the passage to take a little peek, to take a little preview into what it feels like to be enlightened. It's what I was told when I was in India. I went to a shopkeeper, and I was getting some books. I was buying some books there. And the shopkeeper's just an ordinary shopkeeper, but he wasn't. Because he was very, very wise, and he was very humble, but he knew a lot. And basically, he explained the samadhi state as a temporary state of enlightenment. And what enlightenment, his definition of what enlightenment is, and if you go up online right now, anybody listening, if you go up right now and you go on Google and you type in enlightenment, what it is, and what you're going to get 100 different answers that will say what it is. Because no one really says, oh, this is what enlightenment is, and a lot of people are way off on what it is. Basically, what he said enlightenment is, and it's stuck in my head, is basically a samadhi state, which is an absorption state. But instead of temporary, like the samadhi, it's permanent. And when you reach permanent absorption, which it does say in certain scriptures and in Buddhist texts too, they talk about the nirvana being like the extinction of the self. Everyone thinks that's a negative thing. Why would you destroy yourself? Why deny and uproot your desires? The whole reason to live here. That's not what he said. It was more about like you need desire to even ascend. So you had the desire to escape this suffering, and so you extinguish the self that has to do with the ego part of yourself. You kill the ego self, or you exterminate it, because that's associated with the pain body, which is your physical body. And then when you identify with your spiritual self or your higher self, which is beyond, it's your consciousness. You could identify with an animal, a person, a rock, a tree, anything. And then you escape out of your pain body. Now you're free, right? And so when you extinguish the self and all the needs that it has, the wants, the cravings that it has, these addictions, when you're so full, you can escape it and you reach nirvana. And that's why contentment is the greatest wealth on this path. Because if you're content with where you're at, you can start that process of, it's like you intend to ascend, but you're content with where you are. So you can kind of be comfortable enough to like get out of that consciousness of being trapped in your pain body that wants all these cravings and desires, so many things. Like Jesus even said, it's like ye desireth in your desires. Meaning you guys are so lustful, you guys have such intense desires that even in the desires that are being fulfilled to you, you desire more different things. Like let's say you were being delivered grapes on a platter, and you have all these things, and you have this desire for the grapes and whatever, and someone's fanning you. But now you're complaining because the grapes weren't given to you fast enough, or you wish that the grapes were a different color, or you have even desires for other things within that, so you're never really happy. Like it's always could be more. That's the mantra
That's
of
just
the ego.
being rude.
In a way, yeah, but the mantra.
That's not nice.
Talking
I'm
about
never giving you grapes again.
right.
I'm never doing anything for you.
Seriously, but like, okay, so the mantra of the ego is more.
Okay.
And so when you extinguish the self, not in a negative way, but you end that self, you enter the absorption or samadhi permanently, which is enlightenment.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's like, so you entered a temporary state of enlightenment.
Yeah, it made me feel a lot better too. And when I came to, I know I wasn't sleeping too because, well, you know, when you wake up from a nap or something, you know, you have a certain grogginess, you know, whatever, a certain feeling. It wasn't like that at all. So I know I went into it, and you know, and I have to be honest, I felt, like I said, like I'm just over everything. It helped me not be upset now over my lost possessions and all that, or the feeling of being violated, you know, because when someone steals your things, I mean, you know, you feel violated, you feel betrayed, you feel all these horrible things. So, you know, I don't know, I was just able to let it go now.
Yeah, it's kind of like astral projection. A lot of the mystery teachings that Jesus taught his disciples that no one knows about publicly was astral projection. And the reason why is when you astrally project out of your body, you're able to...
Oh, is out of my body?
Yeah, in a way. But I mean, you can enter samadhi state in your body or out of it. But the idea is when you go into an astral projection or out of your body, consciously, with will, you're able to free yourself from all of that stuff that attaches you to your body. And you see everything from that bird's eye perspective. And you do not care as much about all those things. You let it all go.
But I didn't see anything.
You don't have to.
That's the whole thing. I was surrounded by blackness.
All it is you're freeing your consciousness from the pain body or your physical body. And when you realize there's more out there, you're less attached to this little tiny fragment of your consciousness that you used to call your entire self. You realize, oh, this is just the slice of my whole pie. I'm not this. I used to think my arm was my whole self. Now I realize, oh my God, it's attached to all these other things. I'm huge. I'm giant. And then that's why I say it keeps ascending, as I was saying, until you realize, oh my God, I am you. I am me. I am the plants, I am the animals, I'm everybody, I'm the earth, and then I am consciousness, I am everybody's consciousness, and then you realize, oh my God, I am reality happening, I'm the universe, I'm the sun, I'm the moon, I'm everything. Like when you get to that level, but it's a real thing, it's not like a conceptual thing, like, oh, I am the sun and the moon. Like, no, like you don't know that. You literally feel it, you are it, you breathe it, you are it. Okay? But you have to get to that level of evolution. We're all little pods basically, and we're trying to flower out and grow and become a whole garden, but we're really just, our consciousness is a garden and it's growing and it's blooming and it's blossoming. And when it blossoms, you open your mind's eye or your third eye to these bigger vistas of reality and you see more of the picture.
Yeah.
And when you see more of the picture, those little things don't matter anymore. You go, what is this?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So even with my chandelier, and it was a very expensive chandelier too.
Right.
It was a Waterford, by the way. And
yeah, those are expensive.
So I'm, like I said, honestly, I let it go, and I'm learning just to go with the flow, you know, as they say, but for real.
No, it has to be for real. See, like, if it's just a faking it, you can try to fake it till it becomes a habit and it works like that, but that's why meditation, okay, because if you do something through training, like even in the subconscious area, and you make it a habit and you do the mantra or whatever, and then you automatically do it, it's good. But if you do it the meditation way, where your consciousness transcends the box that it's in and can see a bigger perspective, all those problems go away. That's what I was explaining in that other podcast, that even though Shukracharya was the guru expert in Yoga Nidra, which is like you can say an affirmation and quit cigarettes or whatever it is, he still recommended meditation in the path of yoga over Yoga Nidra, because instead of just working with the subconscious mind, you're becoming union, the oneness between your consciousness, your lower conscious, your higher one. You become one with your soul in a way, and that from that perspective, when you're in that perspective of consciousness, all of those cravings go away naturally. You don't have to work at it.
Nice.
Yeah, so all they fall away. They fall off. So every consciousness layer that you ascend to, all those fetters, they're called fetters in Buddhism and in the religious context. A fetter is something that's a bother or a trouble or a disease or a worry or a concern, a problem. All the fetters, all life's fetters fall away when you reach these conscious states. And when you reach these conscious states, you're full. You're not reaching it out of like, oh, I'm going to deny my desires and not eat the chocolate cake, but I wish I could have some. That's a hypocrite, okay? But if you really you internally are so full that you really literally have no craving for the chocolate cake or whatever it is, it's not there.
Well, I have a craving right now.
Well, see, you still have that, okay? You have a little more work to do here, okay, in this layer.
Well, I'm going to go to IHOP and get some pancakes.
Okay, well, sounds good.
Okay.
I might join you for some pancakes after this. Sounds good. But
I'm still learning.
Right. But basically, to sum everything up, you need to focus your energies into ascending your consciousness and your vibration to a higher state, so that all these things work themselves out naturally, and then that you can eventually become a perfect being through evolution. And that's what the idea is, and it's a process. That's why they do say, it's a process, not perfection, progress, not perfection, okay? Because it is a process. But the goal is perfection eventually, and that's the goal of yoga too, to become perfect in your personality, in your thoughts, in your actions, everything. But to do it, you have to practice. So that's what we're doing here. And so look at it as practice. Don't put a lot of pressure on yourself too. That's why a lot of people, including me, I feel like everyone's so hard on themselves that it's like you have compassion for everybody else, but then it runs out when it gets to yourself. And it's like you start something with mantras or something, but then you don't do it, and then you beat yourself up about it, and you say, I didn't do it. I didn't do my mantras. And now, I just stopped doing it because, you put so much pressure. But don't do that, because it's practice.
Right. And I haven't been putting any pressure on myself, by the way.
That's good.
I'm just doing it naturally whenever I think of it.
Right. That's good.
Right?
That's better.
Yeah. And then I'll just do it.
Good.
Yeah, because I don't have a method, or I'm not doing it at a certain time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're just going along with it.
Yeah.
Which is better, because that gets you into the more intuitive state, because when you're too rigid in logic, you can't really flow, and you can't get those creative ideas or when to do it.
But it really works. I mean, it really works, because, I can tell you, I'm a person, I didn't believe in this stuff. I didn't know anything about it until I met you. And, but...
You're a believer.
I'm a believer now.
She's a believer, people, because it does work. No, it really does work.
I just thought it was a bunch of hocus pocus.
Right. A lot of people do. A lot of people, because you're a smart person, a lot of people are smart, and there's a lot of, tricks and fakery out there, and, you don't know.
True, yeah.
And so, a lot of people do believe it at first, but then when they start trying it and they see, if they do, they realize, oh my gosh, this stuff's so powerful.
It is powerful.
It's so powerful. You really learn how much power you really have inside, too, in your own manifesting abilities. And once you learn how much power you have, that's when you really start taking control over your own life and assume responsibility and realize how valuable that power is, and not give it away to somebody else so they create the reality for you. So,
well, another thing you need to talk about on another podcast is magic.
Right. No, I definitely want to do a podcast about metaphysics and magic and how it applies to today's modern world. And
that sounded really fascinating to me.
Yeah. We'll have to do that next podcast.
Yeah.
So. Okay, everybody. Well, that pretty much sums it up for getting out of a slew of bad luck and getting them lucky charms back for you.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, she'll keep you posted. And we let you know about the mantras, that they're working, and the ebook should be coming out before the next podcast is released. So enjoy the ebook on the mantras. Okay?
Okay. Bye.
Have a great night, everyone.